Geek Squad. Geek Squad.
It's a few minutes after 7 and it's a Tuesday. My name is Kobby Spiky Nkrumah, and yeah, I haven't been on the show for a couple of Tuesdays because of the Champions League. I'm very sure you know that when that happens, it pushes us to social media only because still football over tech in Ghana. But I'm back, I'm here, and today we're going to talk about our tech stories, how we started. Because every time we're talking about tech, people ask, I want to start a career in tech or I want to pursue tech. How did you start? How did you get there? What inspired you? What pushed you? And I'm sure there are a lot of geeks out there who have very interesting stories because, especially for people of my generation, this current generation, they're quite lucky because everything sort of fell on their laps. Parents now know that technology is the way to go. So no matter what you study, your parents would, encourage you to study a bit of coding. I know parents who are pushing their kids right now to study robotics and coding, unlike some of us who had to fight to study tech, especially, in my case, where I was told to study journalism rather than tech. So I will share my story. Michael and Winston will also share theirs. And I want to hear from you, the listener who's in tech. Anyone who is a lover of tech, what inspired you to pursue a journey or a career in tech? Or what triggered it? Because I know people who ultimately did not start off doing tech, but some way, somehow found themselves in the tech industry. And I'd like to hear your story. I'd like for you to tell me what inspired you, what triggered you, what, in some cases, what pissed you off and you decided, hey, I want to do tech. So if you can call, I'd want you to call 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. And if you can't call and you'd like to send a message, it's 055-1111-997, 055-1111 997 055 quadruple 1997. Send us a WhatsApp message. Let me know what pushed you into a tech career, what inspired you, what motivated you, what triggered you, and you decided, hey, I'm done with whatever it is I'm doing. I want to pursue this career. As some would say, which bite bit you? No, not some. I actually said that. So that's my quote. Which bite bit you and pushed you into the tech career? Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, choose your own bundle, your own way with the MTN Flexi Bundle. Just dial *138# and enjoy bundles that don't expire. In the interim, before we get to that, how's it going with Twitter, where Elon Musk is challenging the board that he wants to buy Twitter? What do you guys think? Should Elon Musk be allowed to buy Twitter, or should Twitter still remain public? Elon says it's not being run well. From where he stands, he's pushing for free speech, and he thinks that Twitter should be taken private. Yeah, he believes he can make Twitter better. He can make Twitter great again. Some are worried that if Elon buys it, he would bring the likes of Donald Trump back to Twitter because, yeah, free speech. If you say it's all about free speech, why is Donald off Twitter? Bring him back. So, yeah, there's that concern. And for those who are worried about that, they don't want Elon to own it. But majority of the people, I've seen polls, and a lot of people are pushing. They want Elon to own it. So if you're not a techie and you don't have a story to share, I want to know your opinion. Otherwise, on the fact that Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter, and if you'd like for him to own Twitter, let me know. Also, if you would not like for him to own Twitter, let me know. That's if you're not a techie. But if you're a techie and you want to join in the conversation, share your story, what pushed you into a tech career, or what made you become a tinkerer, or what plugged you in. Michael and Winston.
What's up? Greetings,
Hey.
listeners.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. We've been off.
Everything's been missed. You've been missed. Our listeners have been missed.
Yeah, but I saw you last. Was it Saturday?
Friday.
Friday.
Yes, so I missed you. Anyway.
Okay, I'm starting with Michael. Normally I start with Winston because he's closer by proximity. But now, starting with Michael. What was the beginning of your tech career? What pushed you into tech? What
My
started
tech
it
awakening.
all? Yes, your tech awakening.
Okay, he's probably not listening now, but if he is, he's my dad.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned him a couple of times on the show. So
It's literally him because people like to say, "Oh, Mike, you're very techie, you're very nerdy." I learned all of that from him. The apple did not fall far from that tree. So
that the apple. Go on.
So yeah, it all came from him, like his interest in tech, because he was so interested in tech. He kept exposing himself and us by proxy to it, getting as new gadgets as he could, reading up on them, finding out more and more interesting. Something he still does today. So, I mean, I fell right in there because I'm also seeing all these new and interesting, exciting things. Except I was, being his son, the little terror, because he buy me all these interesting things and I play with them, and then after I've finished playing with them, like, okay, the next logical step is to see how they work. And in my simplistic child mind, that meant only one thing: destroy, just disassemble the entire thing, just break it down and see what is going on in there. And unfortunately for him, it didn't last. It didn't stop at my stuff. It went on to his stuff too.
What was the first thing you destroyed?
I don't remember. Like, it was that early. Like, I don't remember what the first thing I destroyed was, but it's a factor. I had something and I destroyed, which is why they were very happy for me to eventually fall in love with Lego, because that was just literally creating and destroying.
And breaking, yeah.
Yeah. To the point I didn't even have to keep the instructions for anything. I took whatever new bag I was, emptied it into a sack of Lego bricks I had, the instructions straight into the bin, and then make a whatever. I mean, Lego is just engineering 101. The only thing I didn't, that's probably what saved me from disassembling his car as well. Cause
His car?
I would have. It's essentially the same thing as full-on Lego. Like, the things that we were doing in Lego is like,
they're just bigger.
Yeah, they're just bigger. Like,
And heavier.
Well, I mean, heavier, but I mean, what is to stop a child?
And they don't stab your feet when you step on them.
It depends. I mean, I haven't walked barefoot in some mechanics yards, but I will just like, you get a few surprises in
there.
there.
Drizzle of tetanus.
Yes, just a tiny sprinkle.
So this is the early life, and then basic school, primary school. Did anything heighten that over there?
It pretty much was that for the longest time. Then I started focusing. I don't remember exactly when. I mean, maybe around GSS, somewhere there. But I started focusing more into IT tech, but I was still interested in tech overall.
Right.
Because I'm interested in mechanics. I'm interested in vehicles. And actually, it's funny. I spoke about this with my best friend growing up, who I hadn't seen in 15 years, and we had met, and we were literally talking about the things that we found interesting and where those interests reside now, and they are both exactly in the exact same place for both of us. So his dad was a pilot for Ghana Airways, so as a result he was interested in aircraft, and I, being who I was also interested in aircraft. So
This is Julian we're talking about.
no, not Julian.
Okay.
Actually, him we haven't met, but one day I'm certain it will happen. Ben, he's definitely not listening, but yeah. So his dad was a pilot, and we were interested in aircraft. So the easy place for us to meet in there was flight simulator and airplane games. But then we also always were looking for videos and stuff of aircraft, reading aircraft books, and like it was in there for us. If there was a movie and the essential point was aircraft, oh, we were there. So I mean, yeah, it was all of that interest, and then but then easier way to access all of that interest was in IT and tech stuff. So what's the latest computers? One of the latest computer toys, Argos magazine, and finding all the things that you can have with your PC.
Wait,
and
all
stuff.
things you can have?
In
Rather,
your-
all the things you can't have.
Look, as far as a child is concerned, the limitation is only a matter of time.
The world is your oyster.
And
In an Argos magazine,
it's only a matter of time, because your parents won't tell you, no, you are mad, you're not spending money
You know,
on that. They
anything-
just say later.
the only thing I did. Oh, they actually tell you later.
No, they didn't mean it, but at least to a child's mind, that will stop you. Later
you
was
from asking.
Later was better than a no.
Well, I would cut whatever I wanted from an Argos magazine and sneak it into my dad's wallet. So when he travels, he would remember that I said to get me this. It never happened. In the other instance, my mother, you do not go to my mother and tell her, I want this. She says this phrase in Tree, so if you you know what that means, you don't ask my mom anything that is not related to studying. The first answer is So the moment you hear that, just format your mind, like forget.
Don't give me that flashback, please. You're treading happier territory. But it was along those lines. Like, you just saw things that were interesting. You just tried to learn more and more of it. So offline, every once in a while, you find out there's something interesting mechanical, whether it be on cars, aircraft, vehicles, whatnot. And then IT stuff was relatively right in front of you. And when the internet came, oh man, then the doors were cast wide open. So I was playing and dabbling in that, and what ended up happening was, when finally came time for university, I was like, well, my IT interest is there, but I'm more interested in graphics and making the things in my mind and the things I'm seeing come to life.
More creative stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was there, so that's where my focus of study was. And someone even asked me, like, why don't you just study? And even I said, okay, let me learn something slightly different, and that's why I'm branching off into marketing and the like. But because it's only tangentially related, but it was still in there. And someone even asked me once, why don't I just study IT? Because that is what we know you to do. And like, look, and it did come true to a point. Look, I've learned so much about how systems work that I am literally almost one exam away from certification, and I don't want to have to learn everything again. And then plus the one, I don't want to learn 90% of what I already know, plus the remaining 10% just to get certification. I've not really achieved anything. So let me learn something entirely new, tangential later maybe, but learn something entirely new, and I still will keep up building up on the new interests, on the old interest, and get more out of that. And it worked, because my first job literally was as an IT sub-manager. So, and I was there for a while before we reviewed my stuff, and I'm like, well, you know a lot about marketing and creative work, so why don't you branch that off into a new thing? And so, yep, the trajectory remains quite similar.
That's where you are now.
Yeah, aside the fact that now I don't have my Lego anymore. So instead of building, I haven't built an engine yet, but it really is only a matter of time before I rebuild an engine.
You know,
hopefully
it's
later rather than sooner, for economic reasons. But yeah, eventually, yeah, the new age Lego will come in, where now engine swaps and all. You know how it is, Spiky. You get in there and wrench every day.
You know, it's funny how you brought in automotive tech to your tech journey, And as I was introducing the show, and I was talking about how I'm an accidental journalist, Jerry Ajololo, he's listening. He says, Massa, you did lie. Now you won't be Lewis Hamilton of BMW in short a petrol head. And I became a techie by accident. I mean, I think
he's not far off.
it's not far off.
He's not far off.
Yeah. I just can't stop laughing. Because when I think about the journey, indeed, I think if I was exposed more to cars,
Just a
little bit more, I wouldn't be sitting here talking tech.
To be honest, it's not just being exposed to cars per se, because I mean, we're all exposed to cars, but if you were given the opportunity to dabble with cars, like your dad will allow you to, like Michael said, Lego his car. If those were things we were allowed to do back then.
Yeah, I think in my dad's defense, he would have allowed me because my dad was pretty much Legoing with his car every weekend.
So
A man would build a new radiator fan from another radiator fan in his.
you were really this close.
I was this close. It's just that it was easier with the computers.
Yes.
Yeah, and it had a screen.
Yeah, so you could literally see.
You could
get
see exactly what you were
immediate
doing.
results from what you were doing. Fair enough.
So, Winston,
Yeah.
your story might end up in May.
Nah, you know,
Pun
wait.
intended.
When Michael was telling his story, I was trying to figure out my story because I spent the whole day trying to figure out my story.
Yeah, because I think I could tell Winston's story. Can't you, Michael?
Although,
Yeah,
you know what's funny? I remembered a tiny detail
Mm.
of my story today that if I tell you guys will be very, very... You have a very interesting response to it. So,
I bet the response won't be unexpected though.
it will. I definitely. I know how you guys are going to react, but basically, my journey into tech was largely from the engineering part of it, the tinkering, figuring how things work, especially more conceptually, because even at a point in time, I actually wanted to make automotive engineering. That's actually what I wanted to do. I'm still very, very interested in doing that. So when I was young, I used to design cars and stuff like that. One of the shows
You
I
can
need,
draw them?
yeah.
Charlie, I admire people who can draw.
One of the shows that
I remember. Yeah, I've seen you draw.
Yeah, one of the shows that I give the most big ups to for helping me like love engineering and hence tech is, do you guys remember the Hoff Hoffman show? Or is it the Hoff Kaufman show? It's one of those, was this German show where they used to tinker and stuff. That
Yeah.
show was such a
There was this
That
other
was quite
one.
cool.
Science, it's out. I forgotten. It was on GTV.
yeah.
Yeah,
GTV
there
was
was-
also the one show.
Yeah.
GTV was doing
It
interesting
was
stuff.
very,
okay.
very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So I may as well just mention Bill Nye because
Bill Nye, science guy.
Yeah. So another thing that really increased my passion for cars was my dad was actually kind of in the car this thing. Before I was born, he used to work for Peugeot, and you'd like
Hey, Peugeot.
Peugeot. Then he moved on to I think AMA, and then guess where he worked? And this is where I'm saying you guys will have a reaction. He worked with Mechanical Lloyd. It's very funny. I'm not a BMW guy till date. I used to go to the showroom back when I was young.
See, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, no.
Like sellout. Sitting in the midst of Mechanical and Lloyd.
and there you
and choosing
are.
to be that missing gear, with the ML in the middle.
The-
He chose the ML out of the logo.
He really did. Like
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, well,
The Mercedes lifestyle.
to make it worse, yeah,
Mm.
my dad was a Volkswagen guy.
I think the trauma hit you early.
He really did. Like,
He was a Volkswagen
it
guy.
explains so much of your character.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if you have to deal with check engine lights a lot in life,
And literally
you-
from birth.
from
yeah, for real. Like one of my favorite cars till date is still the Golf 1 because my dad had a Golf 1.
that was not a bad car. At all.
Yeah.
I legit loved. I mean, you see, and I say loved because Volkswagens were actually very dear to my heart until BMW overtook them.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the same thing. For, like, there was a very pretty red Golf in the house, and I was like, this is the car I want to use when I grow up.
See how Winston has caused us to digress.
Exactly. So let me just cut to the chase. So largely my interest in tech has been more of the conceptual side, largely because Ghana doesn't back then access to be able to bring the things you want to bring to fruition wasn't that. Like my Spiky said, he could have been Lewis Hamilton with just a few more eggs, just egged on just a bit more. Michael could have been doing also amazing stuff if he had been egged on and we're in the right places at the right time. Not that we hate what we do now, but right now I'm still into the concept part of tech, doing more creative stuff. I'm also a data analyst, which is one of the most fun things I've done in recent history, because you know the way it's finally made me that guy where you're talking and I'm like, do you have the numbers to back your
your claim?
You know, I've become that guy that everybody doesn't like.
Yeah, and I've been seeing it in the things you've been tagging me in, like, come get your boy.
Yeah. So yeah, right now I'm really in love with data and data analysis, because you can predict so many things just by looking at numbers, the pattern of numbers, and that for someone who likes the concept of technology and how it affects our lives, that's really fun. So let's move on.
So Bliss in Darkoman says he now wants to join because the world is IT based. Indeed it is. I mean, the richest man is... Okay, so the show is the North Hoff show. See? Someone knows it.
Yeah,
I've been thinking... So my being a techie... Nana Kwesi says, my being a techie only happened in my dreams. Though I love tech stuff. A wild imagination of coding, etc. always makes me smile, but it never saw the light. I'd love to learn hands-on and practically someday I'm good like that. And he's been thinking of an automatic traffic light that can detect traffic and control movements like the police do. A wild one, but I ain't techie. My question, can I sell these ideas or party-own shares when it is pitched to a tech company? Absolutely. I mean, if you could partner with a techie, with someone who creates some of these things, you could eventually build your idea, and then you could have a share in it.
You know, that's actually a part of tech that I'm most interested in, because I've realized that execution entertainment from my side is a bit poor. But planning and setup and everything, I got
That's actually a very crucial part of tech, because you can't do it all.
No, you can't do it all.
You have to work find a team. Then like, look, I can't do the coding, but I understand how this program should work. I understand the flow, that this is where you start, this is where you're presented with, this is where you end up.
So either we get a silent ghost investor or we fall left. Is that what we are? Is that the consensus? I think we should have that conversation. I think there are many of our listeners who want to understand the tech brain drain. Is it possibly going to happen? Is Ghana going to face such a situation?
Well, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
A lot of techies will run away.
Yeah.
Especially because of the pay, the salary system.
Yes.
And mainly also because a lot of companies are still very traditional and don't value the intangible when it comes to tech. I mean, I have a friend, Emmanuel Amukwando. He's probably listening, Papa. He's one of the best coders I know. Like, this guy has moved from financial institution to financial institution, and the stuff he does is crazy. And he's going to Silicon Valley. Like, this is a brilliant coder who could just do stuff for Ghana, but Ghana isn't ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Ghana is ready, but are the companies evolving from being traditional to realizing that a lot of things are now data backed? I mean, that tells... let me tell my story.
Yeah.
About how I entered tech. I think it was a lot more like Michael's, but I think my first experience with anything that I should say digital was a VTech computer.
You had one of those.
I didn't have one, but I went to visit my friend Kwesi Chimbwa, and he had one, and my mind was blown.
Wow, those things were very interesting.
What is this thing that is teaching me? This thing it's confusing me. I know the answer, and you're giving me, you know what I'm saying? And there was a screen, I had to type stuff, and the keyboard was those flat, like the 1100, you know what I mean, where you press it and it connects.
You had some fun times, man. All I had was just Packard bells. Bro,
VTech with one line screen with a red let me see that. Oh, this is even new school VTech.
Yeah, there's a new school one.
Mine was like, not mine. The one that I experienced was one with a monochrome LED, one screen, one line screen, blinking cursor, and let's play a game.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it didn't even have a real keyboard. It was the
There was no
flat-
travel.
Oh, that
Yeah, there was no
like,
travel.
in
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
The ones that you had to like press for it to touch, the contacts
Mm-hmm.
to touch to make something happen. Anyways, so away from that, and then PlayStation 1 once again, they had a computer, Windows 95 running, and we used to play Hellbender, SimCity on that computer. My first computer, on the other hand, was an Apple Macintosh. Yeah.
Why
but-
that's why you looking so smart?
No, I just remembered like him talking about like doing the computer stuff reminded me how I keep talking about how my entire class gets interested in one thing. When I was young, my whole class gets interested in one thing, and we all got interested in computers because we used to go to a game center to go and play Vice City, and we wanted to.
GTA Vice City.
Yeah, we wanted to get Vice City, so we had to figure out how to
copy it.
access the administrator side of the this thing. What do you call this place? The game center or whatever. It's
yeah.
the internet cafe's computer, so that you could get access to the main files to copy them. So that's one of the things that helped us get into tinkering in tech, and I just remembered it was very funny. Those were very funny days.
You guys, Vice City. You know what? My first game I copied was Duke Nukem, Duke 3D.
Was it actually the game, or did you copy the shortcut?
Thank you very much. Now, this was at Christopher Boimames's house. I took one diskette, copied the shortcut, excited. Didn't know that I'd copied the shortcut. Went all the way back to my house. First off, my computer was a Mac and not a PC. That was my first. And I put it in there, and the file was just not working. Lucky my cousin was there. He had his IBM laptop with a red trackpad, in the middle.
Yeah.
He put the diskette in, and he says, "Where's the rest of it?" Like, rest of
Yeah,
what?
what's it?
It's like
This is
the
it.
files. Like, no, this is it. This is the game. This is one we run, and it runs. So he's like, "No, this is a shortcut." And boy, was I so heartbroken. Lucky for me, he had Doom, which was similar to Duke Nukem. So I got to watch him play. I didn't play. I got to watch him
Doom
play.
can be said to be superior anyway, but that's neither here.
Well,
nor
yeah.
But
He didn't have the rocket launcher that Duke Nukem had,
That's
and he didn't talk smack
Yeah.
like Duke Nukem did.
there. The other
It's
things that
time
were,
to kick
there,
some.
there were other things that were in Duke Nukem that went in
Yes.
Doom, like I think we'll stop here.
Yeah, those things were in Duke Nukem. So, like, my exposure to computer games sort of made computers my go-to thing. I did a lot of tinkering, opening up remotes as well, opening up toy cars, and Northridge Lyceum had a brilliant thing they used to do every time we were vacating, which was your project, and it had to be a thing that you had to build, and everybody had to build something. And I had a lot of polystyrene lying around, and all these hobby time related content on GTV gave me a whole lot of ideas.
Oh man.
From taking motors out of my toy car and building a boat out of
Boats.
polystyrene, and realizing firsthand that super glue melts polystyrene. Yeah, like you had to go through all this stuff. And so the lack of things was what pushed me to computers, because I wanted to build stuff, but I didn't have the things to build these stuff with, because I had the ideas. I mean, these boats, I knew how to put a motor on them, and you had books that also showed you the stuff you could do. So there were ideas, but then I didn't have them. I would look in Argos and look at the Kinects, not the Lego, the Kinects, and see how many complicated stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, Kinect was very appealing.
Yeah, because it was more flexible than Lego. I mean, Lego, you had bricks.
Yeah.
But Kinects, you had a lot of moving parts.
So, Lego Technical.
Lego Technic, I will get there. It took me getting to meet Kinects to realize that there was Lego Technic. And those who are old enough, like us at this point, who remember that there was a toy store at the Trust Towers. Yeah, that was where I got my first Lego kit.
Oh
Yes,
man,
that toy store.
was absolute
Exactly.
heaven. Well, heaven and hell.
Yeah, because
it was
you see the stuff and you
see it,
can't
like,
get.
never touch it.
Yes. But computers did it for me.
Yeah.
And my first time I actually opened a computer, because our first PC, because my dad moved from the Mac to a PC. So when I tell people that I've been a Mac person all my life, that's what I mean, like that early. Playing Lode Runner, Dark Castle, and Formula 1 those days on a Macintosh. Bro, we learned, and the computer was in German.
Dude.
Yes, I didn't know how to change the splash, so I just learned the words and knew what they meant, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't speak German, but I knew exactly where to go to load my games, and I would play them. I knew the diskettes and everything.
Look how your computer history has sorted you just out to just go to Germany and buy
A BMW.
Yeah.
See, thinking right along the lines. So my first computer was an HP Pavilion. And it was a multimedia workstation, except I was too young to know what it was capable of. We had a video card, and I didn't know this.
Dude.
So even though I was able to play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 and my friends couldn't, I didn't know it was because I had a video card. I didn't know we had a CD rewritable drive until a year later.
You know, I just remember that back in the day, there were things like video card and sound card.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, it came with Polk audio speakers that you could mount on the sides of the monitor. And those are the times that you buy a system unit, you don't get a monitor. You have to buy a monitor separately.
You have to buy everything separately.
So this machine came set with the speakers and the Polk audio sound. And bro, the sound on that thing, when I'm playing music upstairs, you can hear downstairs. It was dope.
So because our house was one flat, so there was no volume up for us.
Basically, now you understand where my audio, my audio file lifestyle also came from. Now, moving from that, finding out that this car had a CD rewritable drive, I started burning games. Oh, and mind you, prior to this, my best friend Mohammed Sidawi and I were selling. We started our own computer company, in primary school, Zentex Computers, and we used to sell games to our classmates on diskettes. So Mortal Kombat would go on 10 diskettes. You come, we'll sell it to you. You don't own the diskette, you own the game. Take your diskettes home, go and copy it
and bring it back.
So we've labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. We used to buy it from Omari Computers.
God, I hated diskettes. I hated them.
Bro, you didn't have a choice.
No, I didn't have a choice.
Zip disks were a thing, but how many people had
Nobody
zip
had
disks?
zip disks. We had a zip disk, but I was like, yeah, this is great. I can put everything on here, but it's useless because I can't take it
You can't take it anywhere. You couldn't share with anyone.
CDs were expensive, and if they were only useful if you had a CD rewritable drive. God,
Now, you see why my CD rewritable drive was...
That was solid.
It was gold. Yes.
Yeah, back in the day.
And my dad had a CD rewritable CD that he had his documents on. I copied them somewhere safe and wiped it.
And you went to go have...
Copied my games on it and then took them around. And so I had a CD bag with that one CD. That one rewrite, and it was always on top. Because, and when you turned it, the surface was blue. Every other CD is green. So, yeah.
So
Bro, I was that guy.
Man.
I was that guy.
You really were that guy. I mean,
Going around
my diskettes. Look at one with that CD I put that.
But I'm not gonna lie, I just remembered whilst you're reminiscing. Shout outs to our younger selves. We were extremely patient because remember back then, downloading stuff. Now you're downloading packets.
You're talking about even downloading. Talk about connecting.
Did you
that
have
sound?
Did you have a specific moment in that sound where you knew that this is when the connection is at its sweetest?
Oh, and also, do you guys remember when you're connected to the dial-up internet, your speakers will let you know that someone's got there's this sound.
Yes, there's a call coming.
Yeah, then you try and disconnect quickly. Other than that, the whole house is gonna go.
Or it's even the worst ones where sometimes. That's when the call was coming in. You might have sitting there.
Yeah,
when they are going to make a call, and you just hear on the who is on the internet.
Yo, that was. I remember
a box. I don't remember what it was for. I had a wooden box about yay big, just full covered in phone numbers for dial-up, and there were 2 on there. That's like these are the conk numbers. Every other number. Like hit or miss, and then it's like sound. Oh, do you have a number? I give those out, but these were the good numbers. 23119 now. I'll never forget.
The funny thing is I still remember our username and password for our dial-up connection.
I don't remember. I only remember the number we used to get in there.
Anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, phone lines are open. You can call and share your stories about your tech journey. We'll be right back.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then concocted donut. Donut, donut. Malaria super donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D till no not now. Oh, malaria chill. Oh, popo. What do you do? I want you. No, not. A tobacco. No, not. A damian. No, not. A damian, sir. No, not. No, not. Scatter malaria. Lonat, it is scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumojam ansana wanum lona. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo ho a ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.
Enya meba.
Hey, oh dada, MTN will never ask you for your PIN. Never reveal your PIN to anyone under any circumstances. And if you are not sure, always check the number. MTN will only call you with a dedicated number, 0244 300,000. Stay safe, stay vigilant. MTN.
Geek Squad.
And we're back. SIM card registration. All MTN SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card. Failure to register your MTN SIM will mean that you will not be able to make voice calls, use mobile money services, internet, and all other services linked to your SIM card. To register, just dial *404# and follow the prompts. When you dial *404#, you'll be required to send the following details on your Ghana card. Number 1, your Ghana card PIN number. Number 2, your surname. Number 3, your first name or first names if you have multiple, your date of birth, and your gender. Please, your date of birth, the original one. The one that's on the card. Yeah, I saw someone trying to enter, trying to reduce the age. It's the one on your Ghana card you're supposed to put in there. And then add your gender. You will receive a code with which you present to MTN Customer Care Center for your biometric details to be captured. Please note that the registration is free and you will not be required to make any payments whatsoever. So, is it Michael Winston who said he was interested, would like to have more convo on it, should have taken their numbers when I featured on the show? How do I link up, please? That's Nana Kwesi. So, Nana Kwesi at Mr. Watcher on Twitter and at Majestic.
Yes. Well, MAJT, but it's still Majestic.
Yeah, Majestic, MAJT, at MAJT on Twitter. You can find them. You hit them up and they'll give you a number. And they can get in touch. So, Chairman, hey, Douglas, this is my titles there. Kobby Spiky Nkrumah and JHS. I was doing BDT, SHS, that's Technical Building and Construction, right? Tertiary and HND, Hospitality Management. But looking at where the world is leading to, I'm now doing Information Systems Science. To me, I can't let go of tech because it has come to stay with us. Please, so when should I come for my phone? Douglas, your phone, don't worry. Small. We'll get there. The VTech computer reminds me of pocket organizers, Game Boys, and those pet watches. Not forgetting. See the Tamagotchis. Yes, the Tamagotchis.
Look what this guy just sent me. And you know, he just said, still Legoing.
Wow. Yes, and the pocket organizers. Those things were my in thing. It got seized in school. I always had a pocket organizer, and it got seized in school because it was so. You know, it's all about the alarm, the beep beep.
I'm reminded of when I used a PSP as my calculator for an exam.
Wow. Yeah, you mentioned this.
Mm-hmm.
I just used a Texas Instruments TI, I think it was 81. Yeah. You could actually play games on that calculator.
Oh, could you?
It's a graphical calculator, and I wrote my exam. I had a whole periodic table on, on the thing.
Yeah, I tried to get I had once when I could program it and stuff. I couldn't figure it out, but it was easier to hack the PSP to have a calculator on that instead.
Imagine.
I was inspired by this same guy who literally just sends me his
Lego
Technic Ducati set.
Oh.
I'm mildly jealous, but then that's been normal of me and you for the longest time. He's the first person I met who owned an actual PSP.
When you say an actual PSP, you just use a PSP.
No, that was after I met him.
Ah, right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then eventually, I didn't even buy one. Someone gave me one. Ooh. My neighbors' kids said they destroyed it, so they are throwing it away. And I went to see the destroyed PSP. What was it? The back had fallen off.
That was basically it.
That was it. So the back has fallen off. It's dead. Yeah. Okay. Waste not. So yeah, brought it back to life.
Yeah, as you would.
The back wasn't needed, as it turns out. In fact, it was. You can consider it weight savings.
By scrapping the back.
I mean,
But I have a question for you guys.
Mm.
Yeah. Where do you see Ghana's tech community heading? Like, what direction do you see the tech community heading? I mean, we've low-key talked about we for left. Low-key. I mean, kind of like high-key, but yeah, besides that, like...
I mean, bro, right now you know for left, you just need to get a remote job.
Which is not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a story. But I don't think I can... Yeah, I'm not going to tell that story.
No, but yeah, so where do you guys think this is?
You see, the thing is, they're very talented people here.
Yeah.
I remember going for one of these conferences, and I met a whole lot of developers who are doing like brilliant stuff out there. And the thing is, like I say, a lot of our companies need to go realize that digital is the way to go, and start to look for. Personally, what makes it easy for me to do tech is I hate repetitive tasks.
Bro.
And I like efficiency. I can conveniently say this, that I'm a bona fide lazy person.
Yeah.
Because why should you work
lazy.
hard when you can work smart? Why should I keep clicking when I can automate that mouse click?
Exactly.
You know, so personally, I think that a lot of things that happen, if we were given the opportunity, if techies were given opportunities to streamline stuff, and techies a lot of techies are very, very, I don't want to use a word that would sound derogatory, but we're too timid.
Okay.
Voice out. If a change has to be made, propose that change. Create that solution. Pilot it. It could be in your own department. Heck, we even started something in our own department because requests that were coming to us, we had to find a way to automate it, keep track. And, and this is good because then we got data. We knew where more requests were coming from. We knew how long it took each person to complete a request. And you could tell how much work each person was doing. So you realize you're either overburdening someone.
Okay.
And with that kind of data, you can tell what redundancies are in your business and you can drop them.
Yeah, you can.
And be saving money. I'm not promoting people getting fired, but if it means other people getting paid more, why not?
Yeah.
I'd rather hardworking people earn more
than
just have a bunch creating jobs just for creating jobs' sake, and people don't have, and people are not happy because then it defeats the whole purpose. Someone comes to work, they're not happy, they're not going to put in their all, and they're not going to get results. And then someone comes to work and basically does nothing.
I think for like in tandem with what you are saying, I think most tech people, the reason why in offices they don't want to spearhead or pilot anything, it's actually a problem the entirety of Ghana is facing, which is that.
Wait, do you have the data to back this? Yeah, through your own boomerang right back at you.
So I say this based on my experiences with businesses and like seeing people. So it's not objective data. It's subjective data. So basically, what I've noticed is that many people feel like I'm not paid enough to make this work. I'm not paid enough to be so concerned with the business. I'm not paid enough to want this business to succeed. I'm paid enough to, maybe a little less than enough, but I'm paid enough for me to just want to keep this ship afloat. As to elevating the ship, that's not my business. So
Even keep it afloat, keep it at bay.
so it feels. I think Ghana's tech community are going to face a lot more problems. This is one of the problems we are facing right now is certain new legislations that have been passed. That in themselves are going to be huge stumbling blocks because there are people who were actively in these businesses. We've seen countries like Nigeria where some of these fintech companies are getting so many grants and doing so much big business, and then
Angel investors and everything.
Yeah, and then we are here, and then instead of getting angel investors to support the young people and everything, we are putting tax laws that are. But Charlie, it's enough. Let me end here, Michael.
I mean, so I've met a few people
Right.
over the years, even some quite recently, who are really, really hopeful about the future of Ghana's tech industry. That there's a lot of potential for growth, but it's
Of the industry or the people in the industry.
that's what I was going to say. It's a double-edged sword where there's a lot of potential for growth in the industry, because
I mean, there's potential for growth if you're at 0 and you want to go to 1.
not even no. I'm talking about those who are 1 and going to 10. Right. The company are working are about to make a push into big data. There's other companies other people that are looking at like trying to turn here into what I'll call turn Ghana into the new Silicon Valley, because the amount of and the potential is already there.
Who are these people? I want to meet them, because the truth is, I have been thinking about this. Like, this is the smartest thing. The problem Ghana is facing is we don't have scale, so we cannot make any impressions in the marketplaces. We don't have enough of a skill to even have a niche. So why don't you turn us into a workforce?
Which of those are fair, but at the same time as well, we have access to those markets, and lots of these people are seeing that, you know what, this is a good place to set as your base in order to reach out and hit other places within the sub-region.
I would execute a bit differently. I'll just turn everybody. I don't like getting political, but let me just say it with my chest. So something like the free SHS, I would channel that fund into making people who've gotten out of this, like tech. We've gotten to a point where, sadly, thanks to COVID, people around understood working remotely. So if you get a select group of young people, teach them very good tech-based skills, and then you help them get remote jobs, you've already gotten a pipeline of money, because you help them, so you have all their documentation, so you can get your tax directly from them, and your tax will be in dollars. If they are earning 50K a year and you are taking 25%,
And they'll definitely be earning more.
yeah, but that's a nice chunk of money. But I mean, and so that's what when you said the Silicon Valley, I thought that was the
and
approach.
That also brings us to another thing where a lot of techies really undercharge.
Because it's like nobody wants it. They just look at it and they're like, Charlie, if I have to. Like, people don't see these things as very important aspects of their businesses that will help elevate them. Most often, what Spike, you and I have experienced is, and even Michael, is that you would have to execute at a paltry sum, and then they see the benefit and come and be like, oh yeah, the thing that you came to do for me it's helped my business. So, okay, give me the change that I asked for. I mean, that's the best way to show it. And instead of going to talk to the other businesses in your circle that, yo, I did this person helped me do this, I think all of you should do this, they just stay mum, because there's a competition in the business.
Yeah, in
So,
the space. Yeah. All too soon. Yeah, people didn't share your stories. People, you see, share.
Fairboy, what's your story?
Sharing is caring. Fairboy story is very interesting. But unfortunately, we ran out of time. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. Choose your own bundle, your own way with MTN Flexi Bundle. Just dial *138# and enjoy bundles that don't expire. If you missed the greater part of this show, It'll be available on podcast. It will be available on YouTube, on Facebook, and you can tweet at us, hashtag Joy Geek Squad. Majestic at Majete, M Ajete. That's Michael's handle. Winston at Mr. Woche,
Yeah, Mr. _Watcher.
Mr. _Woche. And me at The Real Spiky. On
Hey,
all.
who is verified? Yay,
Oh,
hooray.
Thanks to Dennis.
Hey, our tech boy behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
Behind the scenes, those who don't know, the fair boy who's not so fair. Yeah. And shout outs to all of you who've been listening and all those who texted, sent us WhatsApp messages, and those who didn't call but wanted to call. I hope I've earned the privilege of your time. My name is Kobby Spiky Nkrumah. Catch you next week on another episode. Peace.